All right, so I've got Steve Muldoon here. Steve, you are the latest winner and indeed the first winner in the 13 Fishing Bass Pro Series this year. You won the Ecogear sponsored event at Glenborn on the weekend, mate. Congratulations. Is this your first big ABT event win?
Thank you very much, Steve. Yes, it is. It's my first ever ABT win. When I first set out to start fishing, it was a goal to win one of these events. And on the weekend, I finally was able to achieve that goal, which was amazing.
You've always been up there. You've taken a few checks in us in the past, both in the Opens and the qualifiers. So you've always been sort of sniffing around, but you finally got it done on the weekend. And it wasn't an easy Glenborn, was it? On the weekend, it was a bit of a tough mistress, and we had all of the weather conditions over the weekend. How would you rate how Glenborn fished on the weekend out of 10 compared to how it normally fishes?
Probably a 5. Maybe even a 4. Yeah, it was. We fished a comp there previous. I think it was a month before, and the fishing wasn't too bad then. But it sort of changed on the Sunday. We had a cold change come through, and the fish changed the way that they were biting then. So I learned a little bit from that comp, and then was able to take it into the ABT event, which paid off in the end. So that was really good.
Let's have a look at your bags. You caught 5 out of 5 fish on the first day for a whisker over 5 kilos. You weighed 5.005 kilos. And then on the second day, you fell 1 fish short of your limit, and they were a bit smaller, the fish, so you weighed 4 fish for 2.935 kilos. I was weightmastering that event, and when you came in and weighed your fish, you didn't look like you were confident you were going to take home the win, were you? You were a bit apprehensive about whether you had enough.
Well, against the anglers in that tournament, as they are in all the events, they're the best that you can fish against, I believe. And I didn't think it would have been enough on the Sunday with the 4 fish, and I was really surprised at the end result. So but the fish that we found on the Saturday, they were stacked up on points, and we could get the bigger fish to bite. On the Sunday, I could see the bigger fish through the live scope, but I couldn't get them to bite. So I just tried to grind it out, and only ended up with the 4 in the end. So, but there was no pressure at all on the boat. I just fished, and the result sort of took care of itself after that. So, yeah.
Did you get nervous when Mitchie Cone brought in that big bag? He brought in the biggest limit of the tournament on the Sunday. It was about 5.1 something kilos. He got within about 75 grams of you then. Were you aware that was going on while he was weighing in?
I thought he'd won after, because at the boat ramp, I was just about to put my boat on, and Mitch had come over, and I said, "How'd you go, mate?" And he held up the 5 and then the 1, and I went, he got 5.1 kilos, and I just, sort of done the maths, because I thought that he caught 4 fish on the Saturday, but he actually had only caught 3. So, I thought he'd taken out the win. And then Chris Banks come back as well, and he was really happy with his bag. And I just went, I might have slipped back a little bit further there as well. So,
It just goes to prove in ABT events, mate, it's runs on the border an important thing, and that 5 kilo limit on the first day held you in good stead moving forward. Now, you when we interviewed you on the Sunday morning, and you can see the video on our YouTube channel for ABT, you were reasonably confident you were going to be able to repeat the pattern for the Saturday, but you said the big fish that you found just wouldn't bite. Is that a standard thing for when the weather gets a bit nasty at Glenborn? Do they normally get harder to catch or easier to catch? So was it a usual day?
It seems to be harder, but in the previous comp that I'd fished, you just had to change the way you, just go more finesse. So you started to throw eye wavers and small plastics and stuff like that, where they were taking the surface pretty aggressively, sort of thing, in the morning, sort of thing, until the colour change come through, and then you just had to adapt that way in that comp. But it was still a little bit different, because I never threw the eye waver in this comp. So, it was just the dress jackals and the beetle spins that got the job done in this particular comp. Didn't catch a fish on surface all weekend, so,
No worries. So give us, for anyone that doesn't know what a dressed jackal is, it was invented definitely by someone who was drunk one night at a bass tournament, wasn't it? So explain exactly what it is.
It's just a normal. I had a TN60 jackal on with NFAU colour, just trying to imitate a gudgeon, and it's got like a wire set up on it with the blades on it, and I don't know what they see in it, but they do like it. So they seem to like it when they're in the transition phase sort of thing. So that's going from deep to shallow, or so they seem to like that particular lure, and the beetle spin as well. So
so it's basically getting a beetle spin arm, and instead of putting a plastic on the end, you're putting a Jackal TN60 on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's it is crazy how people, you throw it, you feel bad throwing it because it looks a bit weird, but man, the bass eat it, don't they? That's crazy.
I'll throw whatever I need to catch the bass. So and that's one of the lures that they wanted over the weekend. But the beetle spin was the other one as well. They liked that one as well. So
what sort of beetle spin did you use with what jig head and plastic if you were beetle spinning?
It was a Fish Arrow J spinner with the gold blade and a 1/4 ounce TT, just the silver standard jig head. I don't normally paint the jig heads.
Yep.
With a TW or OSP TW 139 plastic cut down because they were eating the smaller gudgeon. So
cut down. So it was really a finesse beetle spin and a totally aggressive beetle spin. They'd go one way or the other.
Yeah.
Tell us about the outfits you throw those on. Do you throw the dress jackal and the beetle spin on the same outfit, or do you have a couple of different outfits for that?
Just on a spin rod. I use the Daiwa, the Itchy Twitchy.
Yep.
And it was matched up with an Exist 2000 reel.
And what did you have on it?
I had Sunline Castaway PE in 10 pound.
Yep. And leader.
FC Sniper Invisible in 8 pound.
And explain your retrieve. You'd see the fish. Obviously, you've got live scope on your boat, so you'd see the fish suspending there, teasing you in front of your boat, well within casting distance. And what was the retrieve? Was it a slow roll, or did you mix it up a little bit?
I mixed it up a little bit. So the fish that were on the bottom, I'd do like 5 winds and then drop it back to the bottom. The fish that was suspended, I just a really slow roll through them. So the blade had a really nice vibration to it through the rod sort of thing. It was different to the other beetle spins that I've thrown. So I don't know if that made a difference or not, but it had a really nice action and felt good through the rod over the weekend. So
How has the Garmin Live Scope changed your fishing when it comes to bass in situations like this?
It's been massive because you can obviously see where the fish are and cast to them. When you sort of, before I had that, it's surprising that like on the Sunday, there was a patch of weed around and the fish were all around the weed, and then at times they'd move off the weed and I'd sort of pan it around again and find them and position the boat to cast to them again. And that made a big difference because, it sort of made the most of the comp or the tournament time. So,
That's right. I suppose in the old days we just cast around until we found a fish and then throw in that direction. But now it's sort of, they're there and they're not liking what you're throwing if they're not eating it. It takes that the guesswork out of it, I suppose.
Oh, exactly. And I was just trying to change the retrieves to maybe trigger one to bite, and it worked on a few occasions on the the Sunday. But the Saturday, we'd sort of caught, fish pretty well all day. And, so I knew it would be a little bit tougher on the Sunday. It did in the previous comp as well. But I thought we'd sort of caught enough fish to be able to, fill the bag.
Yeah.
But maybe with not too much more after that. So, But as it turned out, it was only 4, but it was just enough. So
that's good, mate. Now with the win, you've now instantly qualified for the Bass Pro Grand Final this year, which is going to be, I think it's up on the Richmond, the Grand Final this year. What do you like on rivers? Do you know your way around a river, and do you know how to wade through the thousands of little fish you're going to catch to get the big ones?
No, I haven't fished many rivers at all. We don't live too far from the Hawkesbury River, but I don't go down too much. We just sort of concentrate on the lakes over the years, and haven't done much river fishing at all. So
you might have to get down and do some practice.
Beg pardon?
Might have to get down to Hawkesbury to do some practice, because they're very similar systems, lots of water, lots of good-looking country, and I think you'll find the difference between some rivers and lakes is the fact you'll sometimes catch a lot of fish in rivers. Like, you'll catch a lot of smaller fish and then those big fish, like we saw Joey Urquhart catch in the grand final 3 or 4 years ago. Those 50-centimetre fish are real treasures and can make you shoot up the leaderboard. So I hope you're up for the challenge and want to come and try your hand at winning that Mercury-powered bluefin we're going to give away at the end of the year.
I'll definitely be looking at it. We've got a lot of tournaments on this year, and it's 1 week by week at the moment, and
yep.
We've got a family bassing comp on this weekend, so basically it's get home, dry everything out, and back on the road again.
That's awesome,
on Friday.
Mate. You got a $3,500 payout for winning the event, mate. What's the money going to reinvest it in some more tournaments, or has the missus stolen it?
I don't have a partner at the moment, so she won't be getting it. It'll just go back into basically the boat and the fishing. And maybe a weekend away from my daughter, because without her support letting me go to the tournaments, I think I owe her back, and I'll take her away for a nice weekend away.
Mate,
so,
you're a good man, and it's good to see, like a true addict, you're putting it back into the people and the sport that you love. Mate, thank you very much for joining us this morning for an interview, and we look forward to seeing you at maybe one of the qualifiers down the year.
Thanks, Steve. I'd just like to thank ABT. I'd like to thank my non-boaters, Sean Walsh and Jill Wales.
Yep.
And it was great to see everyone up there for the weekend to brave
You know what? The Bass guys, for a whole mob of wet ducks, they were in a pretty good spirits. Pretty good spirits come the Sunday afternoon. You're pretty unflappable, the Bass guys.
All I wanted to do was get some dry clothes on at the end of the comp, but it was definitely worth it. And I've been blown away by all the response from the comp. I even was walking around town this morning, and somebody that from the service station that I went to, I didn't even know that he looks at the fishing side of things, and he congratulated him, and I was just like, oh wow, you seen that, did you? Yeah, so
that's awesome, mate.
Great.
Mate, a big time in the Bass. Well done, very worthy winner, and thanks for joining us, Steve. You're a legend.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. See you soon.
Cheers, mate.